I've been working on a Sword the Court-like game for the past few months using the Godot game engine, with a theme inspired by the Overlord anime. This is as expected of the Demon Lord, which I'll be releasing for free with a built-in add-on support system. If you don't know what Sword the Court is, in short, it's a very simple simulation game about ruling over a kingdom where people come to visit you, you listen to what they have to say, and then you give them a yes or no answer. There are also events at the end of each day. You have 3 game stats that you need to keep track of, the number of people in your kingdom, their happiness, and your gold. Your answers to people and end of the day events can affect these game stats, and your main goal is to keep your kingdom alive by making your people happy. This is a pretty simple game loop, so I felt confident about being able to create a game about it. After just the first few hours, I already managed to put together the core systems for the game, since I could just reuse a lot of the code from my previous test projects, and I already had enough Godot experience. The yes or no answer was working properly, and it was loading in the creature, textures and dialogues from files outside the game exe file, which is all I needed to make it customizable. I've also given it some quickly thrown together placeholder textures and sound effects. Now when it comes to game development, it is usually the best in most cases to avoid working too much on assets in the early phases of development, such as textures, and primarily focus on the gameplay loop. But since this one's mostly just a copy of Sword the Court, I decided on reworking the textures anyway. With the visual new rework of the game look pretty much the same as it does now. This was supposed to be just another placeholder design, but I immediately took a strong liking to it. It is similar to Sword the Court, but it is different enough to not bother me. From this point on, my main goals were just minor overall game improvements, creating creatures and events, adding non-essential small features, and last but not least, greatly improving the game customization. As a side note, one major reason I kept working on this game was that, out of all of the games I ever worked on previously, this was the only time I actually felt like I was making a game rather than just another test project. Which is not too surprising considering that it is mostly just a copy of another game rather than my previous plans trying to combine games, which never turned out to be actually fun. And as a side note, if you're interested in this project, then please consider subscribing. I would really appreciate it. Now, customization was actually one of the major features I wanted to add to this game, which is for a couple of reasons. I always enjoyed the option of being able to customize a game. English isn't my first language, and writing characters and stories isn't my forte either. So even if all the content I create is mediocre at best, which probably will be the case, it can be replaced by anyone. I call the customization of this game the content pack system, because content packs are like mods plus resource packs. They're all just text files and images, so you can freely change or remove the already added creatures or events, but you can also easily add new ones. You can also add, change or remove background music, and overwrite already added textures, like the Demon Lord himself. And after all this work, the game is mostly done. I'm hoping to release the project in the upcoming few months for PC, on itch.io and Steam, and for Android on the Google Play Store. The game will most likely also be playable in the browser on itch.io. Now, I'm not fully done with this game. I plan to add more content to it, such as creatures and events, improve the already added ones, or maybe even completely reworking some of them, try to add a story, and even more customization options, and do minor improvements, but I know that at this point player feedback would be far more valuable, so I'm considering the idea of releasing a free playable demo on itch.io. And that's about it. Thank you for watching the video, and I hope that you will have a great day or night.